does Tupac Shakur mean?
Okay, it means, I was named after this Inca chief from South America whose name was Tupac Amaru, but it's a lot of people named Tupac Amaru. And I think the tribal breakdown means like intelligent warrior, something like that. But
I see.
he's a deep dude. He is. If I go to South America, they're gonna love me, I'm telling you.
When you first moved to Oakland, that was your first stop in California?
1995. So I've been to Venice Beach. Let me tell you, it's crazy. The outdoor gym, everyone's shirtless and jacked and tan. It's true. The amount of homeless people there is like through the roof, and you can see why, because I mean, the weather there is just immaculate at all times. It's a permanent 69 degrees, literally. It's great.
I only had 2 jobs ever in my life. One was in Round Table Pizza.
Trihex.
I used to make the pizza, but it was good. It was the perfect job, Tabitha, because I was hungry and I got to like eat all the toppings off people's pizza. That's why, hey, because everything is right there. Could you imagine? I was making pizzas on the side, bringing pizzas home. I'm calling in my own deliveries. You know what I mean? But that job, I lasted about a month. Then I worked as the guy that packs your bags in the supermarket for about, 2 weeks. Then the dude kept catching me writing raps by the time clock.
Wait. I forgot that was a thing. You had staff dedicated to just bagging the groceries, the baggers.
I used to be like, you know, I'm gonna write for
Instead
hour,
of loading people's groceries.
Like, she can carry her own shit. So
Did it ever occur to you that you might be able to get scholarships to go to college, or was that just not even an issue?
I always wanted to go to college, but I wanted to go to college and be comfortable. Like how people, like, I don't know, this might be.
Anyway, I'm getting called out here. Man, I have not seen a grocery bagger, not a clerk who checks you out who also bags. I'm talking about a dedicated bag. There is the checker outer, the cashier, I guess, and then there's the bagger. I haven't seen a dedicated bagger. No, like genuinely, I haven't seen a bagger in forever. No, mind you, my shopping's mostly done at Target and Costco, but yeah, I haven't seen like a dedicated bagger. Well, I mean, I don't know, Costco's like a little bit different, it's wholesale, so it's like you need staff there to like be dedicated scanners and shit like that. So I'm not really including Costco in the situation, but a conventional supermarket, I haven't seen a dedicated bagger before 2010. Very, very long ago.
What you think? A little bit of me? Tip it to the side or something? It ain't my style, they not Coutier.
Give me a characterization of your childhood. How would you describe what it was like growing up?
I was the total opposite of what I am right now. I was quiet, withdrawn. I read a lot. I wrote poetry. I kept a diary. I watched TV all the time. I stayed in front of a television. I went to movies. Everything.
What did you do that was, I mean, it seems like going from a homeless shelter to a project or having to worry about having enough food on the table must have been very difficult. How did you deal with that? Were there any therapeutic ways for you to heal yourself?
I smoked weed. I hung out with the drug dealers and the criminals, and I got...
And that made you feel better?
Interestingly enough, yes, because...
And even though they were all thugs, they showed a young brother love.
They have those same problems, and they found a way to get out of it. As a kid, this is what I was thinking.
And so did you end up selling drugs also because those were your
I think I tried selling drugs for maybe 2 weeks. Then the dude was like, "Oh man, give me my drugs back," because I didn't know how to do it. I sell, somebody didn't pay me back. I'd be like, "Oh, it's okay."
Smoke most of it?
Yeah, no, I never smoked it. Never smoked it. I just be like, "It's okay. You don't have to pay me back." Dudes would give me their watch and say, you know, give me this amount for my watch.
Like in a pawn shop all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
and I give him his watch back, and he didn't give me no money. So dude's like, no more for you.
How big was Tupac in 95? I'm trying to remember like the timeline here. Like, is he like nationwide popular by 97, or is he already huge in 95 by that point? Cause I'm like the lack of people up his ass on Venice Beach is kind of like shocking me right now. Are people just like calmer back in 95? Like, I feel like people would just like lose their fucking social media. That's what it was. There was no like echo wave of like, you know, oh, Tupac's trending because he's in this area right now, right? Is that what it is? Okay, that's a really good way to look at it. California Love came out in 95. Okay, Tupac, all right, Pac is huge. Pac is huge, yes. California Love was like, Holy fucking shit, that was everywhere. Everywhere. I say was. Still is. I mean, goddamn, dude. Like, that song is eternal. That song is, like, literally, like, lifeless. It just doesn't, it never isn't relevant.
At what point in your early life were you introduced to this quote-unquote thug mentality?
When I was out there by myself, with nowhere to stay and no money.
Which city?
And
in California?
Bits of it was in Baltimore. Pieces of it was in Marin City. And then the rest came in Oakland.
And what was your first
LA.
introduction? Drug dealers or?
Drug dealers,
It's angry,
pimps,
dude.
prostitutes.
Prostitutes.
That's really it. Criminals. But they weren't like young, glamorous guys, you know. They weren't like.
Well,
they
why
didn't
did you want to
seduce
hang
me
out
like
with
that.
them then?
They the only people that cared about me at that point. When I had nowhere to go,
But you
and
said
I was
your mother
hungry.
always cared about you.
She did, but she was lost at that particular moment, and she wasn't caring about herself at that moment.
Yeah.
Tell
Being
me.
a man, I
Addiction,
needed
bro,
a
it's crazy.
father. I needed a male influence in my life. And these were the males. The other males who could have been a more positive influence on me were too scared to come where I was. Or they didn't have the money, or they...
I mean, yeah, yo, look, if Pac's mom was a crack addict and stuff like that, you know, if you're in an addict environment, I would just imagine that it's just not it's not productive, it's environmentally, it's emotionally exhausting because, like, they're addicted, so they're gonna just rationalize anything to keep the habit going, including possibly snapping at you for being a co-occupant and you need to get me XYZ so I can get more of my habit enabled. Yeah, I sold your TV, but I needed my habit and I'll get your TV back and, you know, next payday, no big deal, whatever, right? So shit like that, it can just be really, really exhausting and kind of want to just get out of there altogether.
They didn't have
Right.
the heart or whatever.
Well, tell me about not growing up with a father. Why didn't you grow up with a father?
It's not just me, it's a lot of people, but I
In your
didn't
case.
because, I mean, the times that I came up in was like the late 60s, they were still having free love, you know, they was just hitting what they was hitting. And my mother got pregnant and wasn't really getting with the guy that
She was
got her
married to
pregnant.
someone else at the time,
No, she
right?
wasn't married.
No?
My mother was out just living her life. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. And she got pregnant and had me. I didn't have a father.
Did
Did
you
my
know
father-
who the father was, your biological father?
I still don't know who it is, for sure. I've never taken any blood tests. The guy who I knew was my father, who claimed to be my father, he passed away, he died.
And is that legs?
Yes, but then recently after I got shot, this other guy came, was like he was my father and he looks like me. He been in the jail to see me. His kids look like me.
Well, what was that like?
That was the bug out. I just woke up and he was...
Bro, I'm just looking at all this shit now, dude. Like, what, Pac died at what, 26, right? Was it 27? 26? The amount of shit. Like, this guy's my dad. This guy actually looks like my dad, but, you know, he saw me when I was in jail and just like, man, bro, that school to prison pipeline is crazy. And just like, oh, goddamn, bro, you just drowning in all the bullshit, dude. Yeah, it's, well, yeah, you gotta grow up real fucking quick, you know what I'm saying? Like,
standing over me. So
In jail?
when I was in the hospital,
And what did he, I mean, do you believe him?
I do in a way because he looks like me and his kids look like me.
Why don't you get a blood test to find out?
It's scary
Is it pointless now?
in a way. I mean, I'm not gonna love him anymore or love him any less. So it's pointless.
Did he explain why he left?
Yeah.
What did he say?
It was personal. It wasn't, you know, I don't want to
Okay.
put his word. I'll tell everything about me, but I
Right.
don't want
No, that's
to give
fine.
out his business.
That's cool. Can you tell me why you looked at legs as your father?
Because the way my mom's told me was like, he didn't even care. He was like, yo, because he slept with her around the same time. So he was like, you had a kid? She was like, yeah. He came and saw me in the bed. I had a real big head when I was a little kid, same thing like right now. And he's like, oh, that's my son. No blood test, nothing. He was just like, that's my son. Took care of me, gave me money, but he was like a criminal too. He was a drug dealer out there doing this thing. So he only came, bought me money, material things.
so like, why is Pac being so vulnerable, accessible, really honest right now? Is there like a Is it just something? It's as simple as this is Pac's personality. He always called it how it was. No bullshit, no filter. Or is there like? This seems very candid for just like a an MTV interview back in '95. I know I'm pausing a lot. I see Chat's asking a lot of good questions today, so I have to reply and give him my full effort here. Isn't this the kind of dude you are? Well, again, the thing here, yeah, this is how I would hit the interview, frame one and whatnot. But I'm just, what I was more getting at is I'm not used to like music artists and rappers being like this is like really candid. I didn't pre-screen this here. This is a raw reaction. I didn't think this was going to be this juicy. Like, we're walking on Venice Beach. We're not like in a 60 minutes, chair A, chair B, very sterilized thing. Like, this is, I'd argue, more genuine than some of the shit I see on 60 Minutes comparatively. So I just wasn't ready for it to be like this, to hit this hard on like the front face of Substance here, I thought it was going to be, very mild, and we're just going to see more things reminiscent of the 90s to reflect back on comparatively in 2022. So yeah, I'm very pleasantly surprised. I'm not mad at all here. I was like, whoa, well, why haven't I seen other music artists hit it like this here, actually?
Do you feel like one day that you'll be a good father?
I think I'll be a very, very good father.
Why?
Because I love kids. I love the innocence that they have and how they look up to you and how you can't do no wrong to them. And I love that, man. I would do anything. I'd do damn near anything. I'd do damn near anything.
That's a really good point. I think we've all been there whenever you can remember when you were young and like adults, their existence gave you like a view of absolute stability in the world. And then at some point you became an adult and you realized, oh my God, everyone's a man-child. It's just, the world's ran by ego, and it's not as stable as I thought it was whenever I was ignorant and younger. And and that difference there is really, really something to think about.
For them. All the kids in my life, my nieces, nephews, they get anything they want. They got the best Christmases, everything. They get whatever they want. I'm a sucker for them. But I wouldn't have any kids myself because I'm scared to bring any children into this world, especially any black children.
For now
for
or
right
forever?
Now. Just for right now.
Tell me about being raised by a mother who is a Black Panther.
It was great to me because she taught me how to be more international instead of being local. And I did get some principles from her that'll always be with me. She taught me how to be community orientated. And I think my mother taught me to understand women a lot more than my peers can.
You're in touch with your feminine side?
I think so. I think so.
How do you know?
Oh.
Because I can be around, I'm not uncomfortable around women. I'm not uncomfortable around strong women. I'm not, I don't feel more, I don't get like a predator thing going when I'm around demure females, I don't get a thing like this when I'm around strong females. I like being around females. I'm comfortable. I can get.
Wow, this is pretty awesome for 95 standards, I would say. I mean, just awesome all around here, but I think this was like nowhere near the common rhetoric in 95, y'all. This is an amazing video.
Tupac, your life has been marred by considerable pain. Do you think you'll ever get to the point where you can live a normal, happy life?
No. But I'm going for it. I'm trying for it. And until then, I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. Live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't think.
I gotta say, dude, it was a great video. And I think, what's the saying where like you reveal you reveal your truest form when you think no one is looking, or something like that, right? Like, it was a very mask off, because it's like it's MTV, right? So I don't know, maybe MTV was a very huge deal. I don't know if like MTV interviews were considered prestigious at that time or whatever here. I'm thinking of like, compared to like, 99, 2000. It seems like a very, very well put together interview. The environment is chill. The atmosphere leads to more comfortability. So we're just going to go walk and talk, which is great. And the questions that were being hit, I mean, Tupac was just giving like phenomenal extensions to each question to just give more insight into his worldview on each question being asked. His mom was a Black Panther, so it's not surprising he's got a good worldview. That is true. That is true. This was really, really good, y'all.
Yeah.